You built the SOPs. You made the automations. You have a system for almost everything now, and you are still working 10-hour days, still the person every question comes back to, still the one holding it all together. On paper, it looks like a business. Revenue is up, the team is bigger, the milestones are checked off. It doesn't feel like a business. It feels like you built yourself the highest paying, hardest job you have ever had. By the end of this, you'll know the one shift that stops every system from running through you, and it isn't hiring another manager. I know this weight because I built my own business right into it. Systems for everything, and me quietly running all of them. On paper, I had a team. In practice, every real decision still found its way back to my desk. That taught me the thing this whole video is about. The systems were never the problem. Owning all of them was. Here's the part most people get right. A system is just a set of steps that turns something into something else. And it has 4 parts: an input, a process, an output, and feedback that tells you how to make it better. Take onboarding a new client. The input is a signed agreement. The process is the welcome email, the intake form, the kickoff call, the folder setup. The output is a client who feels taken care of and a team that knows what to deliver. The feedback is whether they showed up to that call ready or confused. Now picture that same shape under every part of your business: marketing, sales, delivery, finance, dozens of little systems, each with a job. And here is the question that actually matters. Who owns each one? Because every system has an owner, the person responsible for it running and getting better. If you never decide who that is, you become the owner of all of them by default. That is the quiet math behind why you feel like you built a job. You didn't just build the systems. You own every single one. Here is a fast way to find the systems that are secretly yours. Think back over last week. Every time your team stopped and waited for you. Every message that started with a quick question. Everything that only moved once you touched it. Each one of those is a system where the real owner is you. Most owners at your stage are quietly running 15 or 20 of them and never calling it that. That weight you feel at the end of the day isn't the work itself. It's owning all of it at once. Here's what I'm seeing everywhere. The advice is always the same. Map your systems, then put a person in charge of each one. Hire, delegate, repeat. I tried that. Every system I handed off needed a person, and every person needed managing, and the managing came right back to me. I hired my way toward freedom and landed deeper in the weeds with a smaller margin. More owners just meant more management. So here's the question almost nobody asks. What if the owner isn't a person? The systems that eat your day, the content, the reporting, the follow-up, the first draft of almost everything, those don't need another hire to own them. They can be owned by an AI crew member, a trained member of your team whose whole job is that one system. It runs whether or not you remember it exists. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, because I thought it too. Isn't this just automations and AI tools with a nicer name? It isn't. And that difference is the whole thing. If you open a chatbot and type "write me this week's email," you get an email. It's fine. It sounds like everyone else because the tool has no idea what good looks like in your business. That is a tool. You ask, it produces, you fix it every single time. An AI crew member is different. You teach it once. Your voice, your client, your standard, your offers. Then it owns that output. The difference isn't the AI. It's the layer between you and the AI, the part where you taught it what good looks like. Here's a real one. I have an AI crew member that owns our content system. It knows our brand voice, who we're talking to, and what good actually looks like for us. The input is a topic. The process is a draft written the way we would write it. The output is a finished post. The feedback is what performed, which it uses to get better. That whole system has an owner, it runs every week, and the owner is not me. And it isn't only content. The same shape works for your weekly numbers, your first draft proposals, your follow-up with the leads who went quiet, any system where the doing is repeatable and what good looks like can be taught. Here's what this looks like fully built out. We worked with a business owner doing about 1.3 million a year. Good business from the outside. He was working 40 to 50 hours a week and living in the weeds. When we started, his goal wasn't more revenue. It was simple. He wanted to work 5 hours a week, not 50. So we did exactly what I just walked you through. We mapped his systems and handed the ones that didn't need him to owners that weren't him. A year later, he's working about 5 hours a week. Revenue didn't drop. It held right around 1.4 million. And he spends his weeks taking surfing trips with his family. He gave himself an enormous raise without adding a single dollar of revenue. He just stopped being the owner of everything. So which systems go to an AI crew member and which stay with a person? Here is the line I use. If the work is repeatable and you can describe what good looks like, an AI crew member can own it. First drafts, research, reporting, follow-up, scheduling, the daily production work. If the work needs real judgment, a relationship, or a decision only a human should make, that stays with a person. Closing a big client. Coaching a team member who's struggling. Deciding where the business goes next. AI takes the doing. Your people rise to the thinking. That is the trade you actually want, because the thinking is where your growth has been hiding the whole time. So how do you actually do this? First, map your systems the normal way, input to output. Second, go find every system where the owner is secretly you, the ones where the doing still lives on your plate. Third, for each of those, make one call. Does this genuinely need a human to own it? Or is a person just doing repeatable work an AI crew member could own instead? Fourth, for the AI ones, you commission that crew member the way you'd onboard a great hire. You teach it your standard once on purpose, not a prompt you retype every time. A trained member of your team you build once and keep. The rule here is the same for people and for AI. Owning a system doesn't mean you're the only one who can touch it. It means you're responsible for it running and getting better. When an AI crew member owns your content system, a human still owns the outcome. But the doing, the part that used to sit on you at 9 at night, has an owner that isn't you. That is the difference between a business that needs you and a business that runs in alignment while you sleep. And here is where this is going. A couple years from now, the businesses in your space will have crew members owning half their systems. The advantage won't be having one. It'll be having built yours early, while everyone else was still typing "write me an email" into a chatbot. The owners who start now get a head start that compounds every single month. If you take one thing from this, take this. You don't get your life back by finding more people to hand your business to. You get it back when the systems that eat your days have an owner, and that owner isn't you. That is the whole idea behind strategy first, AI second. We get clear on what good looks like, then we build the crew that owns it. I run a free boot camp that walks you through the first system to hand off this way. The link is below. That's the shift. Subscribe if you want to watch me build these out one system at a time.